Welcome to the Heads Together podcast. I may sound a little bit manic this week, but that is because I am beyond excited to bring this bonus episode to you. My business bestie, world bestie, one of my favourite people on the planet, Rebecca Gunter, is launching her new brand today. This is exciting, right? This is different. I'm going to tell you a bit more about it in a sec, but this bonus episode is all about introducing you to this concept of her new brand called Stoned Fruit. And those of you who know Rebecca, who've listened to her on the Heads Together podcast or have already come across her in some other way through her business as a brand strategist, copywriter, you're going to know this. She's not your average fruit. She is not a dull apple. She is a magnificent, I was about to say she's a magnificent strange fruit. She is an out-of-the-box thinker. She is, every now and then, I think that I have some pretty damn wild ideas that I go about putting into practice and bringing to life. Rebecca blew me out of the water when she first came to me and said, I had this idea of this kind of like brand, like a micro agency, where we could kind of like sell copy and sell positioning and messaging for people, but kind of wrap it in a retail skin. And I hope you enjoy it. And Rebecca, to you are my absolute hero. You are incredible. I want to thank you for helping me be the best business owner I can be the best coach I can be, and for just being an example to all of us of how it's possible to think really big, to have a wild vision, and to be committed to bringing it to life, which is what you've done. And you're amazing. It is a magic carpet ride with you, for sure. So onwards and upwards, let's kick off and listen to my interview with the woman herself, Rebecca Gunter. Okay, never in the history of a podcast has there ever been so much banter before we actually record the session. I actually feel slightly beside myself now, but I am very excited to have here on the launch day of something magical that is the culmination. It's the destiny of a magic carpet ride, basically, but we'll come to that later. Miss Rebecca Gunter.
Oh my God, I'm in the brand, you guys. I'm starting something new. It's so exciting.
Yeah, but I do want it to be exciting, because it is.
Let's get exciting. Let's get exciting then.
Wait, I want you to do a big drop of the name Stoned Fruit. Massive drop, like no one's ever heard that name before. I'm drum rolling.
Stoned Fruit, which is a brand development micro agency and creative writing studio. Dun, dun, dun.
Stoned Fruit, which, if you're listening to this, like, how can anyone not be ridiculously and disproportionately, like me, overexcited about this brand, right? From the moment that how long ago did we first start talking about this concept?
I would say the beginning of 2022. We started to realize that there was a full-fat version of my business deep inside me.
Right. Anyway, yeah. So, been up to much lately?
Chili, I'm diligently working hard behind the scenes, planting itty-bitty little saplings of fruit trees and other orchard-bearing metaphors to bring forth a new brand. And I feel really awkward talking about it in this forum because I've been so quiet about it for so long that it feels like I'm revealing this secret
Do you know what? I can tell that you feel awkward talking about it, which it's not a surprise because this is massive. Birthing any new brand is massive. But what you're doing here with drum roll.
Stone fruit.
Thank you.
STONED. Stoned fruit.
Stoned fruit. Tell us what that is first. What is stone fruit?
Stone fruit is my dream full fat business. Honestly, Jilly, you've been with me for the last 2.5 years? Has it been 3 years? Has it been longer than that?
3 years, yeah.
Since day one, and all of the things that I actually wanted to do, but never felt like I had enough experience, gravitas, brand resonance, courage, self-belief, or anything to actually execute. That was a pipe dream for something that if I crawled through the glass and proved myself and worked, incrementally up this little ladder of entrepreneurship, one day I could open the door to this miraculous brand that will have manifested itself through those labors, and that would take me a journey of a cajillion steps and hardships. And then the pandemic happened, which I think really did cause so many paradigm shifts in which people really looked at themselves and said, what am I doing with my time? What am I doing with my life? And through excellent coaching from a business coach, Jill Mokes, maybe you've heard of her, who who really helped me pull back the curtain and be like, why not? Why not do it the way you want to do it? And the way I want to do it is completely quirky and bizarre.
Right. This is what I'm just so excited to share with people. Because like I was saying, I'm not surprised that it feels like hard to now voice this, tell people about it, because this is big. Birthing any brand is really big. Birthing a brand that is new, innovative, so radically different to the way things are usually done in that industry is huge. And if I'm allowed to say it without sounding like I'm being really patronizing or anything, I'm so proud of you for the way you have just refused to compromise with this. There have been times when you and I have butted heads on some of the ideas for this brand, because it was almost like your innovation and big thinking, you out-trumped me. You out-trumped me on this one. This brand is everything. I am absolutely in love with it. It's why I wanted to devote a whole episode of the podcast, a bonus episode like this, not just because you're my business bestie, you are an amazing person in my life, but also because I truly want to showcase this as an example of what you can do if you just master your mindset and allow yourself to think as big as you can. And then once you've got that vision in place, you go back, you open an Asana board and you say, okay, what's my task number one? So I just wanted to really kind of frame, I guess, a little bit before you go into telling us more about Stone Fruit and what it is and how it works and what it does for people. I just wanted to frame that with how proud I am that you've actually done this. You've made this happen, because this is you. This is if I could have ever dreamt up something big enough for you, this would have been it. And yeah, you did it.
Man, what a heartfelt and wonderful thing to say, and also to hear. It means the world to me that it's that important to you. And I just want to say, I love you a lot. And I really would not,
it really is.
I really would not have this bravery if I did not have you validating it all along. And some of that validation has come from the pushback. I mean, I will not forget us in that little website meeting where you're like, okay, so what about just home about services, portfolio, contact? And I was like, no, hard pass.
I don't want any of those.
I don't want any of that. That's not the way we're going to do it. Not to be innovative, like on purpose, but I just really wanted to do it in a way I thought would be fun to interact with and fun to engage with and fun to write for and fun to do photography and, to videotape someone crushing actual peaches and cherries in their hands and bring an octopus to life through, an animated series and create this whole kind of vibe and experience when we're really just branding fruit, and showing how to bring a brand to life, even if you're not talking about anything other than fruit is the topic, universally appealing. And, you might like yours juicy. You might like yours stoned. You might like your fruit any way you like it, in a pie, in a cobbler, at the fruit stand, in a fruit salad, in a smoothie. Just the idea of being creative and giving something people to enjoy participating with. We just can't learn anymore about how to do all the things. We cannot learn, just feel like we need to just see, experience, be with, and participate with folks who are also having fun. And if you can direct all that towards marketing and branding services and copywriting and give folks the assets that they need to drive forth their entrepreneurial endeavors, why not build that thing? Because we could have 100 days left on Earth. Who knows? I could be whisked away to Samoa to become a princess. I'm not sure.
I think that might happen.
Now it's foretold.
So I want us to make sure that anyone listening understands two things. One, what stoned fruit is in a very basic, what will it be on offer? And the other thing I want people to understand is why is it different? In what way is it different? What have you done?
What have you done?
So what have you done, woman? Lord of God, what have you done?
And that could be the end result, because this is a grand experiment. Let's just say that off the break. Every single thing we've approached has been well, let's just see if this works. I don't know. We're just going to try it and put it out there. So what it is a grand experiment in one hand. And what it also is a very known thing, which is a little micro agency for marketing and creative services. So at its core, it's a small, tiny little boutique agency that delivers business marketing assets. So you're positioning and messaging and website copy and sales pages and a script for voiceover to record a video with another partner. And the way that it's different is that it is through the lens of kind of an amalgamation between retail, farm to table, and the seasonality of kind of a growing season for business. And that means we'll have a limited menu, things that are on the menu for spring that might not be on the menu for summer, that might be on the menu for fall. And we'll have a great kind of culinary and hospitality driven approach to it in delivering very specific services. So things will be packaged in a way that you'd want them at the farmer's market, rather than kind of this expansive menu of, kind of dry, unappealing options you've seen before. So I'm just leaning in on all of that.
I couldn't love it more. I just couldn't love it more. I think it's genius. I think that what people are going to find so incredible about this is that it's going to tie in with the natural rhythm of the way people build assets within their businesses as well. If you are a smart entrepreneur, you don't change everything all at once in your business. You pick something that you want to be working on or want to get to the best it can be on your website. It might be a case study that you want to write. And up until this, I feel that the difficulty business owners have in engaging with a copywriter, a brand agency, whatever, is that they don't know what they need in the bigger picture, but they know what they want straight away. And often a brand agency will kind of tried to make it a different thing. It has to be this big all or nothing package. And there's no way for a business owner to just go and say, can I just buy one of those, please? Or what's in season at the moment? What's good? What's that? A case study? Yes, I do want one of those, please. Thank you very much. What's that? LinkedIn profiles are the dish du jour. Well, yes, I'll take one of those, please. And I think that's going to be really revolutionary for business owners who want to do things at their pace. And that's why I bloody love this so much.
Thank you for getting that. I feel seen. That's exactly how I was inspired to put it together. I've worked in restaurants for almost all my life. And one thing I know is that people love restaurants. And restaurants are about just having just a small amount of clairvoyance for what people will actually want to eat and how they're going to want to eat it. And sometimes they want an appetizer to dessert, and sometimes they want to share a dish, and sometimes they want to take a little piece of it home. So if you can kind of think about creative services within that hospitality paradigm and just start packaging up snacks, entrees, to-go food, and meals in a way that people want to eat, for lack of a better way of talking about it. So bringing hospitality together with service delivery, but it's not food, but food for thought. It's the thing I do the best, which is writing and coaching people along in creating a very unique and well-developed brand that they can be super proud of and that other people are gaga for as well. So as long as you get that core piece, the world is your oyster, and we'll be here for as long as need be.
Absolutely. And like, I was just thinking as you were saying that, I mean, one of the things that I think people really struggle with, and without exception, myself included, is when you are creating an offer within your business and you want a beautiful, say, email sequence. Will the stone fruit menu go that specific? Could someone come along and say, I just want to buy a 10 email nurture sequence? You know, once they've kind of had their positioning done and everything, is that something they would be able to do?
You are so smart. Absolutely. It'll probably be on the winter menu. Email strings and sequences. So pick the string and sequence that we want to deliver. So we'll do some brand strategy and positioning in the beginning. We'll create a positioning statement for the string or the sequence, whatever the objective is. We'll deliver that set for one set price, biggity bang, bootity boom, and you've got this evergreen asset in your business.
Yeah.
For what? Yes. Yeah, you've got your nurture sequence, or instead go for the launch package that has, you've got your kind of idea for whatever it is that you want to launch, whether it's a program, a course, a new product, a new line of business, a new menu, whatever it is that you want to publicly launch. We position it, we message it, we develop the product description, a small overview, a sales page, a welcome sequence, an opt-in and opt-out, all the elements that you would need to kind of just package that launch and be able to plug and play. Just buy it kind of off the shelf in a retail environment.
That's the bit that gets me. It's so genius, but I don't think it's been done like this before. I just think that the way you've packaged this up with the Stone Fruit brand speaks so much to the retail environment, and also making it seasonal, things that are on the menu, things that are off the menu. There will be educational pieces. There will be I know you've got other surprises up your sleeve as well that are going to come a bit further down the line, which is
I've got a few exciting things in my fruit basket. That's true.
A few things in the basket. Yeah, exactly. I just like this idea of it being like browsing the aisles and being able to pick what you do and don't want. I really love that.
What more fun do we have online than shopping?
Exactly.
Let's face it, this whole entire brand is based on the power of the internet to be able to bring us all together. And so we're in a time and a moment where most people have access to the internet and they are used to interacting on Zoom for coaching calls on Calendly to schedule an appointment. They're used to kind of being in an automated email stream. They're used to signing onto a platform and going through some sort of a course experience. All those things feel familiar and feel rote, but why not also have the funnest experience that you can have online, which is retail shopping? So I really just tried to bake all of this into like, what if a little package that was an email string and sequence was like basically kind of farmer's market style and on the digital shelf, and you were able to check it out just like you would any other kind of like course of action, but it wasn't DIY. We're not talking about things that you're doing independently on your own, but you can buy it off the shelf and then you're interacting with someone in a done with you environment, not a done for you environment. This isn't like, give up your credit card and have your shiny profile 3 weeks later and you never had to do anything. It is an intensive kind of brand therapy, brand strategy, copywriting reveal, co-creation experience that's immersed in just fun copy and a branded experience. And you get like a lot of high touch points while you're in the package or the product. Then, get your next thing, rip and replace your website copy. That's one of my favorite things that we've kind of got on the idea board. Yeah.
Oh God, if you're listening right now, who doesn't bloody love that? Who doesn't want to rip and replace their website copy? And it's not always like your entire website copy, but I guarantee you everything I would put money on this being true. Unless you've had a recent brand refresh done on your brand or you're a recently built brand, I bet every single one of us has a part, if not all, of our website copy that we would love to rip out and replace. I just think that's so genius.
And I think the thing that holds us back from doing that is the idea, I just built that website, or I don't have the bandwidth to go through a full website overhaul. And it feels like that is all you can do. But in my experience working with clients, all you really have to do is take the existing structure of the website. If this has a headline, rewrite a headline. If that has a paragraph, rewrite that paragraph. So that essentially all you have to do is kind of rip out the old stuff and replace it with the new. And you haven't broken a piece of coding. You haven't broken the design. You haven't had to go back and retool anything. You just rip and replace the copy. And then who knows what's going to be the chef special next month.
Exactly. Talking of which, so we're in fall at the moment. We like to call it autumn. You like to call it fall. So what is on the chef's menu for fall?
We only have one thing right now, Jilly.
I want you to tell me what it is.
Yeah, we only have one thing. You know where I learned that powerful piece of business strategy? Right here on the Heads Together podcast. What was the minimum viable business model we could start with? And so we're just starting with one thing on the menu and we'll add to it over time. And so we're starting with a LinkedIn profile makeover, which is essentially a complete and total makeover of your profile from your headline to your about section to your experience section, education, volunteer, strategizing and optimizing around, skills, endorsements, the power of your headline, SEO keywords, etc. So that is an intense 3-week process, or more if you really need to bake some extra time into it, in which we work.
Yeah, because that's done with you.
Well, I can't think of anything at Stone Fruit that isn't done with you.
Right. It's how
Everything
you get the best
is done
results.
with you. Oh my God, is how you get the best results. How else can you express your brand if you're not working intimately with the person who's supposed to articulate it? And on the other side, how are you going to articulate someone's brand without working very closely with them to understand it? So it becomes this just really unique process of kind of feels like brand therapy. It feels like business development with a turbo shot of kind of advancement in the way that you've positioned yourself in the marketplace. And then you get this like sweet product at the end of it that you can be really proud of and start really boasting and making yourself known on LinkedIn with your brand new profile, strutting your stuff.
Right. I mean, I just feel like the timing for this couldn't be better because LinkedIn is the B2B platform. If you are a service provider and you're not using LinkedIn, you're really missing a trick, because LinkedIn is one of the only platforms left now where your organic content, if it's good, can reach huge numbers of eyeballs, ears, whatever. And I think people are missing a trick with LinkedIn. If your profile, because obviously who doesn't check out someone's profile if they're interested in what they're saying? However good your posts are on LinkedIn, however engaging they are, if you've got a crappy LinkedIn profile that just doesn't do you justice, you're doing yourself such a disservice. But LinkedIn, there's so much potential on there for people. So don't fall at the first hurdle by not having a great profile is the first thing I would say. But conversely, once you have got an amazing profile, and honestly, I know you're going to be sharing some of the profiles that you've written for people under the Stone Fruit umbrella of written. So I know you're going to be sharing them because they are different, folks. Listen, check them out. You need to check it out because they're so different. Writing a really good LinkedIn profile is such a skill. It isn't straightforward. It isn't something you do in a day at home while you've got your true crime on. But it's true, isn't it? It isn't something that just gets born straight away. It's a really, really in-depth process in getting out of you how to showcase yourself, your personal brand, you, in the best way you can on LinkedIn.
And it is an intense process, but we can do it in like 3 weeks or less. And, I've seen them have a ton of success.
That is the marketing part of LinkedIn. If you want to then leverage that marketing and have paying customers come to you, that is when someone goes from being a content consumer to actually deciding they want to hire someone, work with them, buy something from them. That's when their research really starts. That's when the first thing they're going to do is head to the profile and check it out. And your profile could be the difference between magnetizing all of these amazing prospects by generating this fantastic content consistently that people are loving and they're interacting with you on, et cetera, et cetera. The moment they are ready to take that next step and become a paying customer or paying client, and they start doing the research part of that whole process of becoming a client, that's when they start looking at the profile. And if it lets you down, that's a sale lost, potentially. Not always, but potentially. And why wouldn't you set yourself up for the most likely success?
That is a brilliant argument, and I absolutely agree with you. Even taking it a step further in the sales process, which I think you're absolutely right. The customer journey, you can breadcrumb the customer journey all you want, but if the storefront looks closed, it could be easy to get overlooked. But let's take it. So maybe the storefront looks open, and you've invited someone to a discovery call, and that is your key thing. A lot of entrepreneurs, like if you can just get them on the phone, they can identify an ideal customer, articulate what they have to offer and sell the reason to believe, in the trust relationship and move forward. But if your LinkedIn profile or your website do not sound like you, and you get on the phone and you sound like a totally different person, that's a brand breaker. You start to be like, what?
Right.
So if I went to your website and it was all like, we have fun here. Like, this is the fun attorney's office. Like, we're changing the paradigm for relationships with your attorneys. And then you get in their office and it's all like, everyone's in a like tie and the cubicles and everyone's kind of uptight. And, it's all this like very serious vibe. That is a brand breaker. So your website and your LinkedIn profile, really, it doesn't have to sound like you wrote it, but it also cannot sound like someone who is very much not you, because the disconnect there will breed seeds of distrust that are not worth the risk. So to like come at your LinkedIn profile with this like real resume speak, high business like formality, and then someone gets you on your phone and you're like genuine, casual, and authentic, and you've got this other kind of vibe, that feels not right. So having your profile kind of made over in your image, so that when people actually meet you,
co-creation again, isn't it?
That's right.
It's that done with you again.
You cannot get that with just like fill out a form, answer this questionnaire, and in 3 weeks or a month, you'll see your LinkedIn profile again. It's the stone fruit job. We've been here before. We have a very set process. You can log into a client portal and see every single thing that's going to happen and get kind of an explainer and some bonus content, which is, appropriate and then aligned here that you're going to go through steps of service and you're going to know what to expect. And you're going to have there's a calmness about it that feels really empowering. It's kind of like, I don't know, like a boot camp for good when you go through the process. And at the other end of it, you've got this fantastic new profile. You know exactly what to do with it. When people go to it, they're like, oh yeah, man, this absolutely makes sense. They grok what your special sauce is. And so your conversations are elevated and higher quality right off the break. And then you can get kind of into the nuts and bolts of what your partnership could possibly look like. And hopefully that leads to a sale. So, it's all by design.
All by design. Exactly right. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Buy it now, folks. The only thing on the menu, buy it now.
Cool. Before we wrap up you and I together, is that I admire you so much. You just would not. You refused to stop until everyone understood what you were trying to create here. And the brand is all the better for it. It's amazing.
And you, Jilly, thank you for you. Thank you for encouraging me to keep moving forward.
And to be honest with you, I know people are going to love it and they're going to love the brand and they are going to love what this brand is going to bring to their business. So thank you for creating it.
The honor is mine. Preach, Peach.
Preach, Peach. Okay, well, thank you so much. And thank you to Rebecca for now.